Hey, everybody. It's me, Jonathan Crow, Director of Community here at NinjaOne, and I have with me my new favorite product manager, Josh Lambert. Josh, thank you for joining. It's been a while.
Yeah, I can honestly say I haven't seen that awesome intro clip.
Oh,
That
yeah.
is some serious production value. And I
Yeah.
know just you must say that every time, every PM it comes on. Oh, my new favorite, huh? Is that the trick?
Well, you're my favorite right now because you're going to be talking about something that a lot of folks have been asking about, talking about, particularly on the internal IT side, but not just that. I mean, MSPs as well. Um, there's lots of questions. There's Intune, there's NinjaOne. Is it either or? Is it an and? If so, how? Why? When? And the answer has been for a long time soon. In terms of an official integration, but no longer. I think we're getting to the point where that answer is now. We get to do some more stuff. Folks have always been able to use NinjaOne and Intune together, but we've made this partnership more official, right? And so you get to talk about that, which I'm super excited about. Um, Before you do, I want to thank everybody for joining, seeing all the familiar names in the chat. Trevor, Robert. I love that Robert got scooped by Montgomery. You're first. Thanks for joining us, everybody. As always, please don't wait for us to cover stuff. Ask questions right away. I'll interrupt Josh's flow and pester him with questions. Feel free to be active in the chat. Let us know what you're thinking. And I also just wanted to give a shout out to everybody because I came back from IT Nation, which one of the big MSP shows. It was in Orlando last week, and I saw a lot of folks come by our booth, which was this is for those of you who don't know, this is a an event that preceded ConnectWise, but now it's a ConnectWise event. And somehow we got positioned. I'm sure it was by the luck of the draw. We were positioned in the very back corner, but people still found us, and it was awesome to see people in person. And one thing that I mentioned a ton of was the Discord server. And for anyone who is not a member of that yet, you should totally come join. It's lots of fun. And the reason I'm bringing it up is a lot of the folks who are watching this right now, you are what makes that Discord server so valuable. Josh is on there too, along with all of our other PMs, and they are insanely generous in terms of their time and jumping in and answering questions. But you all really make that channel, that server, such a valuable resource. And so I would get one of two reactions. For the rare folks who hadn't heard of it, they were like, "Oh man, sweet! I got to go down there. I got to let my guys know." And then the much more popular response was, I'm on there. I love it. And it's because of you all. So thank you for that. Um, all right. So with all that mushy stuff aside, Josh, let's get to it. Let's talk about Intune.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally echo the Discord comments as well. We love it. We love being able to check in and have a quick chat about things on the fly, just as we go, because the community has such a hive of knowledge, and things change so frequently in the space that without having the social side of it, you don't stand a chance to keep up to date just on your lonesome. So no, we love it. We really do. Please join. But yeah, Intune. Let's talk about it. So Ninja, for a while, we've had the capability to work with Microsoft Intune, but not necessarily actually working in partnership with Microsoft and Intune together. That changed first half of this year. Started really talking with Microsoft, building out everything that we could do, plans. We have so many releases planned over the course of the next 18 months, probably going to go on longer as people discover new use cases. But with our release that actually just went out last night, which was release 11, it's going to be global about mid-December. We started shipping the Intune integration in general availability. So everyone can try it. We've been in early access beta for a couple of months, a few months beforehand. And I figured what I could do is just go through and show everyone what it looks like today. What do you think?
That sounds great to me. Let's hear it. Do you all want to see it? You all want to see what it looks like? Um,
Jonathan was trying to convince me to teach you all about it with elaborate hand gestures earlier, so I can't say I will do that. I'm definitely going to do a share, but yeah, good try, mate.
All right, let's bring it up, and I will echo what you were saying there about when this is available, because that's always a crucial question, and uh, we want to be clear about that. And so 11.0, this is rolling out for our Canadian guinea pigs. I mean, Canadian friends. You all already have this. Same with our Australia, New Zealand, Oceania folks. Next step will be the EMEA folks, and then North America. And we'll drop the release dates so you can check those out. Those are always with an asterisk. They can move around depending on various things. But that's the general timeline of when you're going to be able to actually get your hands on this stuff and see it for yourselves.
Yeah. So I'll take you through 11. I'll also highlight things that are coming in 12, things that are planned for 13. So you have a good idea of the next sort of quarter plus what's imminent and currently underway. So I'm in my Canada region sort of dev test environment. Why don't I show you what it's like to add the Intune app? It's pretty straightforward. Under administration, apps, you'd hit add app and you'll have the catalog. I added this one earlier. And in 11, if you're in the early access in 10, this will be slightly different. In 11, you'll notice we now just have a link, which I appreciate is a little bit confusing. Let me explain why we've moved to this link and why things have moved to this new under devices discovery location. Early feedback, lots of early feedback pointed out that users, and I would agree with them, don't want to have to go to multiple locations for various different incoming devices and data points to know what's been discovered since the last run, which could be an hour ago, could be days ago, all depending on how you configure it. And especially with the upcoming overhaul of NMS, our network device discovery, it's important, more important than ever, to have that central location. So we know Intune's very popular, and we want to make sure we keep with that same location and keep it centralized. So that's why we've gone from it being in the app to being in the centralized location.
And Josh, let me go ahead and just interrupt you really quickly right away. You'll have to get used to that. I'm sorry. Let's see, Brandon. Hey, Brandon. He asked a very important question too. I should get to this. There's always these questions that we need to cover right ahead. When can you get access? And then how do you do it? Is it a paid add-on? Is it something that you need to talk to your account manager about, etc.? So let's answer this one right away.
So access right now for early access, if you just get in contact with your AM, they'll talk to you about any licensing requirements, if you have any or not, or whatever. But EA, truth be told, because we're GA in most other locations, I'm enabling them every day. Last thing before I leave the office, I'll go through and enable everyone. If you put in a request very recently, as we were getting 11.0 out, we had a very brief pause, but they'll all be resumed. And the flow, other than this being 11 and the current EA being in 10, will look almost identical to this. The few little changes you may notice are a button has moved, pretty much the verbiage and everything has stayed the same. So if you're on 10, you can get access now, reach out to your AM. Enablement is probably a 24-hour window most of the time. And yeah, we can absolutely get you sorted out.
Awesome. And then the paid part of it, this is not another paid add-on, is it? Or is it?
No, I don't believe so.
I don't believe so either. I think that's usually the case there, is that it's a separate product. And
right.
Which is, this is not considered that. This is an integration extension of the main capabilities.
Cool.
All right, cool.
So how do I add an Intune device discovery? We try to make it as straightforward as possible. So I'll hit add now. I get a new modal. I'll give the job a name. I will choose where do I want my default new brought in or deployed agents going within Ninja. So I can choose internal main office. So it'll be my target org location. And then I'll sign in with Microsoft. Choose my account. And it'll come through. I have previously accepted the app. We can go through and have a look at the app as well. But if you are familiar with the Microsoft authentication process, it'll show you the name of the app and a list of the permissions. If you are thrown off or surprised by how many permissions we ask for, which is totally understandable, it's a good amount of permissions. We ask for a set of permissions that we know we are using either in the imminent release, like version 12 as it comes out sort of starting in January, or immediately in 13, simply so you don't have to continually come back to reauthorize across many different environments. The way that this is set up, and as we go through, you'll see, if you aren't comfortable with all those permissions in the immediate term, you can actually revoke the app, and it will continue to operate. I'll show you that as we go ahead. If you'd like to know a bit more about the permissions and why and what functionality is coming that's going to be related to those permissions, so that wink, wink, if you want to figure out what's coming, we have a Dojo article. It gives you all of the specific IDs, names, and purposes of why we use the permissions. So you're more than welcome. I'll hit Run Discovery. What this is going to do is going to go away and pull a list of groups. Little shout out, big thank you to all of our early access testers. They're super helpful. Our original thought that there would only be a few hundred groups at most was drastically wrong. We had many partners come and tell us, I have thousands of groups. How can I find my group that I want to deploy to just through scrolling? We didn't have a search. So we added a search. It's pretty quick. We have about 650 groups in this particular Intune Entra dev instance. So yeah, it works quick. I can hit assign. That's it. Right now, in terms of the discovery process, right now what will happen is in 11, this device discovery, it's ad hoc. So it's on demand. So if you have new devices come in, or you want to discover additional groups within a given job, you just need to add them. You can actually edit the discovery. It's the very same process we just did. And then just hit run. And it will run. Scheduled discovery will be present in 12.0, and that rolls out first quarter. You'll be able to configure it down to an hourly basis. Based on how we've implemented the integration, for those who are Intune familiar, we use something called a Win32 app. And we use our NinjaOne tokenized installer for agent deployment. If you're looking to deploy the agent, just adding the device to the Entra group will be enough, and it will get the NinjaOne agent and the process will flow. For unmanaged devices, which we'll talk a little bit about, you'll need to run it manually to pull those in. But again, 12.0, a couple of months away, we'll fully automate that for you. So my discoveries are running, or I've manually run one. Where are my devices? What's happening? Well, under dashboard, under devices, there's now a discovered option. When I click into this, it will again show you as a centralized point all of your discovered devices. So if you're discovering devices via Microsoft Intune, they're in this dash. If you're discovering NMS devices, also in this dash. And as we add additional platforms for discovery, they'll also be pulled straight into this dashboard. And what you'll notice is discovered status linked. So I actually already had these devices deployed as an agent. And when the discovery runs, we will deduplicate, technically not deduplicate, but we'll link the devices for you so you don't end up with accidental deployments and secondary devices and a really full sort of CMDB, ITAM-esque NinjaOne instance, which would be awful for everyone. But I want to show you what linked really looks like for a device in NinjaOne. So if I click into this device and I come to details, you'll notice new option down here, discovered, Intune discovery. So devices could be discovered multiple ways. Could be Intune discovered, could be NMS discovered, could be discovered from another platform I'm not even thinking of. As you have multiple platforms discover the same device, they'll all be linked underneath here. Again, to prevent platform hopping, we can't eliminate it. The best thing we can do is stop you having to jump left, right, and center. And right now, we show a subset of the data we collect. As we roll out in 12 and 13, we're going to show even more of that data, make it more accessible. All of these fields, for those who are custom fields fans, is actually written as a custom field. So there'll be all sorts of data you can pull out. We've also added a deep link. So if you wanted to just jump to this device in Intune, one click, and it'll push you straight through. So hopefully that makes platform jumping, which can't be missed or can't be dismissed. There's a quick link to make that easier for you. So why don't I, at the same time, after a quick view through that linkage in NinjaOne, talk about, last thing I want to cover, because I do love it. In 12.0, we'll be pulling out the assigned user from Intune into NinjaOne. So if you use Entra, perhaps you've got Skim set up, which definitely recommend, you'll have all of your users from Microsoft Entra in NinjaOne will have their UID, their user ID, their GUID, as Microsoft likes to call it. And when we pull in the devices and link Intune into NinjaOne, we'll also set your assigned users for you too. Really useful. I know that's been a big ask within that 11.0 release. We made it in 12. So yeah, very much looking forward to getting that out. So what happens in Intune? What am I even looking at? So in Intune, once that relationship is set up, I can come to apps. Again, this is my development Intune, so be prepared for a little bit of grossness. Sorry, can't be avoided. You'll see how many times we test this to make sure it works. When I went through and created that discovery job, you'll see my couple here. It actually created a Win32 app within Intune. Now we use the Win32 app over something like a line of business app, if you're familiar with those parts within Intune, because it's what Microsoft recommends, and because of the additional granularity of control that a Win32 app provides. So I can actually just scroll down, find one. Let me use Yordani's, for example. Let's go back. Let's try his second one, because I know that one has some stuff in. Why a Win32 app? You get this granular device status, not just installed or failed. We can see pending. We can see not applicable for your bigger groups that may not have a device that can accept the requirements of the NinjaOne agent. If you come to properties, you can see a breakdown of the commands we use. That tokenized installer is exactly in there. You'll see our return codes. So now I mentioned you can have pending or not applicable. Here's where you'll start seeing requirements and that sort of thing, which are editable. So in case you disagree or you're trying to do a troubleshooting step, this is still your Win32 app. It is still your Intune. The goal is to empower you. You're welcome to make changes. Just let us know when you do make a change if you're coming for support. Otherwise, it does make life a lot harder. We use a detection script. What does this script do, Josh? What it will do is, as the Win32 app goes to install, Intune has something called the management extension, the IME, and it will check services MSC. So you're on your Windows box, it'll check for the NinjaOne service, and if it sees the NinjaOne service, it won't attempt the install. It does that to avoid duplication and issues and trying to overwrite things, but that's how we do the detection script. It also means, by using the detection script, that you can pretty much or automatically see pre-installs. So it won't try and automatically install over the top. In your compliance, you can check if NinjaOne's deployed pretty seamlessly. And now I mentioned you could revoke the app if you really needed to, if you're just using this for deployment and you're not comfortable with those permissions. Since it's a 132 app and the way we do deployments is through groups like this, you can come in and edit those assignments, add in a group, and not worry about having to have perpetual Ninja scans deploying the agent for you through perhaps like a script or something like that. By doing it this way as well, it means if you selected the HR group within a department of a business or your own business, if you're internal IT, as new users, new devices get added to that group, they'll automatically get the Win32 app. So they'll get the NinjaOne agent just like that. It makes life a bit easier.
Hey, Josh, before you navigate away from this too, we had a question from Chris, request from Chris. There we go. Can you scroll down a little bit and show assignments more?
I wish I could scroll down any further. It's only because I have one
Gotcha.
required and nothing available or uninstall because I only have the one group in here. If I'm missing something, please correct me. I'll happily show you whatever you want to see. What else can I show you? The insider track of something we're working on in the first half, which I do like to talk about. I love conditional access. I think it's one of the best security capabilities that we have in our toolbox to prevent threat actors and any of those malicious threats. Something that is coming is, and you'll see my horrendous devices right now, all non-compliant. These devices aren't all online. We will be working with Microsoft to add the NinjaOne NDM compliance to this list so that you can continue to use conditional access with NinjaOne MDM in association with Intune. So that should make life a lot easier. We're very privileged, feel very, very honored to be getting added to that list. They'll be coming out first half of next year is the goal, and means things get a bit more seamless when you're integrating NinjaOne and Microsoft. What else can I show you? What else would you be interested in? We can talk a bit more about upcoming things, bringing in discovered apps, which is like the software component of Intune. But that's a really quick rundown of what is now generally available in 11, a little bit of what's coming in 12, and maybe some of the things that will be in 13, if not sooner.
Awesome. And not to doubt your creativity with your hand gestures, but I feel like this was this was a great demonstration. Okay. So this is obviously a very an integration that a lot of folks are very interested in. We got a ton of viewers right now and a lot of questions that came in, Josh. So if you're up for it, I am going to go rapid fire. And some of these you may have gotten to. Some of these came in towards the beginning. So if you ask a question towards the beginning, you've been waiting around. Thanks for being patient. But yeah, if you don't mind, I'll just start hitting you.
Send them.
Okay, let's do it. So the first one is from Chris, and he asks, are there plans for the Intune app to be able to pick up newly joined PCs without having to run discovery again?
So Chris, if you are just looking for NinjaOne agent deployment, because of the way Win32 apps and Intune group deployment works, they'll always just get the agent deployed for the deployment. If you're thinking of unmanaged devices, so a little bit more sort of asset management level, scheduling will come to the Intune discovery in 12.0. Already working, already approved that development work, it'll be there.
Beautiful. Cujo 2099. Is this Intune app able to automatically add devices from Intune into NinjaOne and install the app on the device so NinjaOne has access to it through its monitoring and remote.
That is the primary use case, Cujo. Yeah, you nailed it. That is going to be there day one for you in general availability.
All these great answers so far. Do the devices have, yeah, we'll see. Let's see, get that perfect shriek. Do the devices have an Intune license before the discovery, have to have an Intune license before the discovery process?
Your user will have to have Intune licensing to pull the API in the same way. For the devices in deployment, you'll need Intune. And for discovery, while we pull that device's endpoint, let's go away and say you'll need the Intune license before discovery process for everything to work the way that you're expecting.
Nice diplomatic answer there. Montgomery, the first one, can you add to specific org location based on the group tag?
Montgomery, how can you do this to me? I just had this question internally too. Yes, tagging is exactly coming. I really wanted that in 11. We just missed on the timeline. It's probably going to come later in 12. It might slip to 13, but that's the dream. We actually love tagging. Luke, who you may have seen on other streams, my boss, he's the leader on the tagging side with custom fields. Big believer in tagging as well. It's coming.
Awesome. Soon is the answer. Also, just from context, again, like these things, we don't like to throw out specific dates for some of the, we're excited about 11, which is right now, and coming for the next month for North America. But as you've probably noticed as a customer, these releases are getting pretty consistent and happening every couple of months. And so when we are talking about 12 and 13, it's not ages. It's going to be here before you know it. All right. From Craig.
GDAP.
Yeah.
Yes. That movement from DAP to GDAP, I think I still have PTSD. I will absolutely say praise be to Kelvin for making that a little bit easier. SIP is a dream. Right now, the discovery job is per customer. I fully accept the fact that that can be frustrating beyond maybe a handful. GDAP integration planned, not pinned to a release just yet. I have intricate experience with GDAP and doing a deployment that way. I imagine before we get to a full GDAP deployment like that, we will do something through the GDAP partner tenant relationship call and graph. So you'll like get a list and then you can just hit approve through them just to make life a bit easier, because moving to a GDAP authentication process quite different. Why is that? We've made a very distinct decision to use application permissions with this integration. Maybe that will change in the future. But discovery job per customer, we're working on making it smoother for you ASAP. We will introduce GDAP. It is planned, just not pinned yet.
Thanks for that. All right, let's see here. What is next?
You can totally admit, Jonathan, to seeing GDAP and be like, I don't know what that is. Everyone who knows that acronym is watching this is just like, oh no. Yeah,
just shudder. Okay,
it's a setup thing.
Gotcha. Does the Microsoft 365 group need to be a device or user group for deployment?
My recommendation is do a device group. We support the dynamic membership type, which you may have seen in that modal that popped up when we went through discovery. So do device. If you're trying to do a branch of devices, I would do a dynamic membership. User group should technically be supported. It's not something we super test right now. It really depends on how you install applications. We are trying to work together with SaaS backup, like Entra backup, that's imminent, to make that process a lot easier, so you can have sort of a universal selection, and that's when we'll have better testing of user group. But use device group for now. Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. Chris, again, do these need to be device groups or can user groups be used?
Device groups, my friend. There you go, Chris.
Jackie, what happens if all devices in Intune are already in Ninja?
If they're already in Ninja, we the fancy term is coalesce, but we check for duplicates via the serial number, and then we will just link them. So when you are looking at a NinjaOne device, you'll run that discovery. If you were in dashboard devices, it's the second tab along, go down about 3 options. You'll see discovered. It'll show you your list of devices. If it's a pre-existing device, the discovery status will just go to linked. We don't try to redeploy. We don't make a secondary device for you. We know cleaning that up in particular is like very hard. So they will stay in both of their same separate locations. They'll just have an intrinsic link now. No additional deployments necessary.
Woohoo! All right, great. If we have multiple customers, how do we separate the endpoints by customer?
So for multi-tenancy like that, you'll do a discovery job per customer, and that's the best way to do that. If you don't do multi-tenancy inside a single M365 tenant, if you have done that, it's a choice, definitely not recommended. The best option for you there is to use groups and then do a discovery job. You can do multiple discovery jobs on a singular tenant and then use groups to delineate when you map it back to a NinjaOne organization. And that's how you'll work around that problem.
GDEP aside, I mean, you're no problems. You're crushing these. All right, Ryan Alexander.
Thanks me.
Will a new button be added like there is for IT Glue to go straight to the Intune page for that device? I think you're showing a link, right? But
yeah, it's a link right now. It's a battle. Ryan, I've got a screenshot of this question right now and Jonathan's smiling face, which means he agrees with me. And I'll share it with Luke to see if we can't get that button added up top for you.
There you go. From Jamie, for the multiple platforms discovering the same device, will it merge together or see it as 2 separate devices?
Merge for you, mate. There you go.
Boom. Let's keep it going. How about device compliance? This is something that I think you showed later on too.
Yeah, so device compliance will be written to Ninja. It'll be there. It's in as a custom field. One of the big pieces we're working on, again, planned, not pinned, but realistically to say 26 is the goal, is making those custom fields conditionable. So if you're familiar with NinjaOne, you'll know we do a lot of stuff through policies. Within those policies are conditions. Once we get unmanaged devices being managed by those policies, we'll have condition support. You'll be able to extra validate that device compliance from within NinjaOne as we add that capability. But we already read that data out today.
All right. Oh man, they keep on coming.
Good.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Let's see. Oh no, I lost. Okay, here we go. Cujo again. Would this feature be able to show the local admin password? They've got labs configured. So yeah, they were saying it'd be nice if it could also show the labs password.
I agree. We should totally do that. I will fully admit that the GA of V1, the first general availability, we really were focused on the import and just pulling in the data. And over those next few iterations, I think you can kind of tell as we're like, oh, we'll sync a signed user here to here. Oh, that compliance status should be used in more places. We're figuring out where the different bits need to go. Lapse password sounds like a great feature request. We can do that.
All right. How about this one? That link that goes straight to the not button yet, but the link. Can we add it to devices that are already in Ninja?
Already done. Once you got that integration import there, that link will be there. It'll be
automatic
on the device details. Scroll down to the very bottom on the left-hand side, you'll see Discovery and it'll say Intune job or like Intune Discovery, and you'll have all the information and the link.
Awesome. Okay. A couple of integration and OS questions too. PSA. How is this going to work with integrations with PSAs?
So, love Halo. Big shout out to Tim and Morgan. Don't know what I would do without them. A signed user already syncs to Halo. I'm going to use this particular example. So if you want to use that, you can. It'll pull across the ID for you as well, depending on how you like to do your matching. Yeah, so it will pull through for Halo PSA.
Sweet. macOS.
Oh, so macOS will do, he says, using a Mac. macOS will do unmanaged device discovery for you, so you'll see them all. It'll pull in as much information as possible. We don't currently do agent deployment. Another friend of the stream, John North, I know, has actually been working on a nice new deployment script. And Mark G as well, I'm sure he's been on a few times. They've really tailored it down. Now that we have this awesome macOS install script, why don't we add that to the Intune Mac app deployment? Coming soon.
Awesome. Does it automatically install the latest version, or do we have to refresh it manually?
Latest version? I don't want to go in and manually update that. Hell no. Latest version, mate.
Elvis is in the building. Will there be a way to side-by-side view policies, scripts, application automations made in Ninja versus Intune?
Ooh, that's a beautiful, beautiful feature request. It's not in V1. I would love it to be in a very soon version. This is additionally one of those ones I will screenshot, go straight with mainline, especially as we work through dynamic policies. Our automation script libraries got bigger and bigger and bigger. I think this is going to be really important. So not in 11, not in 12, but I would predict soon. That's a really important use case.
Elvis will give you a shout out whenever it does show up. All right. If a device has no serial number, will duplicates be made? If so, can we merge them?
There is a manual override if you do run into a particular case. I've tested a plethora of devices, so I'm super intrigued, JTK, of the devices you're getting into Intune that have no serial number. Totally understand if it's a serial number that it's like, sometimes self-built like DIY devices, you'll get like a manufacturer to provide serial number. It's one of the stupidest things. In those cases, you can self-delineate. We only merge automatically if we are doubly, triply certain. We look at serial number first and then a couple of other attributes. There's a Dojo article about some of that to make sure we're coalescing on the right thing. Can be manually overridden.
No stumping you, sir. I currently use a script to push Ninja to Intune devices. Would you recommend switching this to the Win32 instead?
Yes, Christian. In short, I will fully admit to the very first POC of building this out, even foolishly turning up to like sort of show Microsoft, oh, look what I did. And like, no, use a Win32. I was like, okay. We went down using a remediation script or platform script, whatever they call them now. It works, definitely gets it out. The Win32 app, the way that we've implemented it, the way you can implement any Win32 app, it just has so many more safety features, like things that aren't going to mess up your deployment and then cause you to have to go back and clean it up. That's why I'd encourage you to move to use our integration, Win32 apps in general. It just makes deployment a bit easier. I tried to show, please use the integration. If you really want to set it up manually, I tried to show you a little bit of what happens behind that curtain. Detection script looks at service. We use the tokenized installer, but Win32 app is the way to go.
All right, sweet. This is from Christopher over watching from LinkedIn. How are cloud PCs or CPCs affected with this?
I really want to get out and actually try the cloud PC SKU because I know it differs ever so slightly from AVD. Ever so slightly. They're kind of the same technology. So it'll work pretty much the same way that you're thinking. We do have deduplication for those multi-instance. Obviously, Cloud PC is a fixed instance, so you shouldn't notice anything drastically change. I'm going to count this as a stump one. I don't think there's going to be anything that drastic changes. Not a use case I've specifically tested, Christopher, but it should operate just as any other device.
You did it, Christopher. You got him.
Yeah, you.
All right, we're coming to it, Josh. You're doing great. We're putting you through the ringer here. Here's one. I mean, focus a lot on discovery. What else we got? What else are you gonna be able to do?
There's more coming. We'll have to do another webinar. We focused on discovery mainly because it's what has come out in like last night's release. There's several different things that we're working on building tighter integration. I can tell you one of the things that's been very highly requested is like, how do I get my NinjaOne remote sort of working between the two? Because I like being able to remote access easily. I'm used to NinjaOne remote. I love the mobile app, whatever it might be. More to come. We'll do another webinar just for those sort of use cases.
All right, sweet. We'll hold you to that. We'll bring you back.
Nice.
Here's one. NL. How's it known which policy wins, Ninja or Intune? Is the other part of that question.
So all depends on how you have the devices set up. I am not a NinjaOne policy pro. I would absolutely look to mainline team, Gavin in particular, Stephen. But with policies, of course, you have to think through the flow. So you have an organization policy, potentially a location policy override, or a device level policy override. If you're using dynamic policies apply at the very bottom of that chain as you hit to the device. So they're sort of the winner. And dynamic policies themselves have a priority list. So once you've worked all the way through the end of that and you've got your, what I would call a synthetic finished policy, and you have an Intune compliance or Intune configuration policy for your compliance, it'll actually come down to on device if you have GPO over MDM set or vice versa. And the same applies with NinjaOne MDM. It is all down to your environmental settings.
All right, we got a few other ones, and I promise we'll release you. Okay, so well, first of all, I just wanted to call out. So Brandon did chime in and said they use NinjaOne with cloud PCs, works the same way as a physical one. So there you
go. Excellent, thank you.
Let's go back to Jackie. So she says, currently we run an AD scan. Would you say that it's okay to keep along with the Intune scan, or do you think it'd be good just to stick with one deployment scan?
It's a good question. There's no harm in doing both. Just depends on which platform you feel like is going to be your growth and future platform, is what I would say to that. It probably sounds like a hybrid join. So most devices are going to end up in Entra and subsequently Intune. So theoretically, you'd only ever have to do the Intune scan. That also means you're not troubleshooting two places, but getting the same outcome. So no harm doing what you're doing, but the Intune scan would simplify things for you.
All right, and from Dennis, what about MDM devices in Intune? So
MDM devices today, Dennis, they'll come into NinjaOne as an unmanaged device. We'll pull in all of their data through the first half, because I mentioned like that compliance piece we're working to ensure your conditional access will keep working the way that you like. We're going to have a few different improvements to that. But right now, MDM device's unmanaged device, you can find all the data in there. They're technically custom fields if you like using the API or anything like that. What comes next? We need to do a Josh Squared webinar to talk about MDM and the others as well. But yeah.
Oh man, I'm gonna start drawing up the ad materials for that, the poster. Here's one, just to bring up Cheat App again. Salaroo. I'm sorry, I probably horribly mispronounced that. Thanks for joining. The recording you'll be able to watch back as soon as we sign off here. But he's lazy. He just wants it to work. Why not link to Microsoft partner and use GDApp similar to SIP? I will say too that we got called out. NinjaOne is we were an early sponsor of SIP. Love what Kelvin and the team there are doing. It's awesome. And I guess I don't know, Josh, anything to add to that one?
GDAP coming soon. We have a plan to provide an easier time in between that. We'll figure out if it's easier just to go straight to GDAP or give you that partner-tenant relationship list. So you can just hit join from a preset list, which is I too share in the laziness. I would like to click less. Which one is the right way to go, but we'll get there. Yes, it's on the way. Oh, yeah.
All right. The last, I believe, well, I guess let me put it this way. Last call for questions, everybody. I did see one that we didn't get to, which is, what's the name of your dog? Your doggo?
Oh, Jolene. I don't know if you could catch her as she exited.
Is this Jolene after the song, Jolene?
Yes. Yeah.
That's
she's
amazing.
A reddish golden retriever, so the name just fit well.
And Jolene, I'm assuming still your heart, and
that's it. It. She just sits under the desk all day, lives the absolute life.
I think they got something figured out. Cats, dogs, they have it all figured out. Okay. We also have, what is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? Of course, there's the follow-up question you have to ask. All right. I think, and Robin says Jolene should join. We'll have Josh squared plus Jolene.
She'll have answers for you. They may not be the ones you want, and it may be all talking about the price of kibble, but she'll have answers for you, I'm sure.
Okay, awesome. And then the last, actually one last thing. Do you still have your screen? Like, do you still have your Ninja Portal available?
Yeah.
Because there's one last thing that we could do. I'm so happy that this question got asked. I don't know that it's in there yet, but folks were asking about, hey, that macOS script sounded cool. Do we have access to that yet? You mentioned John North was working out, and Mark. So Mark, for those of you who don't know, super active in the Discord. He was anti-Venom before. I believe he's switched to just Mark Giordano in there, but he runs our automation, our script library. And so these are all the scripts that a lot of them come from things that he's kind of working on the side. John, a lot of you all are working, adding to the script library. The kind of phases are, okay, let's go from there to baking them into Ninja so you can just deploy with a click. And then in some cases, even from there, going into more native functionality. But one thing that we always love to show is, hey, do you know where that is? Can you find the automation library? Does everyone know where that is, how to access it? So I don't know, Josh, do you mind sharing that really quickly?
Let's do it.
All right. This is also just a joke that Robert completely every time we'll joke about. Here it is, Robert.
Administration, library, automations, magic.
And look at that template library that you can search through and everything too. Like I said, I don't know that Mac script is going to be in there, but we'll get it, and or I'll at least get information about it. You can bother Mark himself in our Discord. We can also, if there's a link available to it once it becomes on this, I can add that to the description in the YouTube video. All right, I think you're a free man, Josh. I think you've done it.
Awesome. Cool. No, this was really fun. Thank you for inviting me along. I always love coming on and talking about new stuff that's coming out, and getting the feedback and the questions. And that was a lot of questions. Definitely needed a large glass of water, but water. Still figuring that one out. Yeah,
That freaked
really
me
fun.
out hearing you say that just then. That really freaked me out.
As long as I don't say router, we're okay.
Thank you everybody for joining. That was awesome. A ton of questions. Clearly, this is something that you all are very interested in checking out and trying out. Talk to your account managers. 11.0 is available now for Canadians and our Oceania friends. It's going to be available very soon in a couple weeks for our folks in Europe, and then North America early December. So go ahead. You can reach out to your account managers now and start checking this out and playing around with it. And as always, let us know. And also, Robin is thank you so much for reminding me. Another reason to join the Discord. As of right now, there is officially an Intune product channel specifically for questions around all this stuff. So conversation doesn't have to stop here. Take it into Discord. Tag Josh. And we can keep everything going there. In the meantime, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Josh.
Great to see
Thank
you.
you, Robin.